Your top stories this evening, sponsored by Courts, bringing value home. JAGDEO instructs police GRA to probe gold smuggling links. He's putting cat to watch the milk, according to sources. Sought turn for more than US $50 million CHATEAU MARGOT Mall. World Trade Center Georgetown to connect local business to global markets. Government to crack down on online gambling, betting shops. Stronger regulation, higher taxes coming, says JAGDEO. And in sport, PETRA organization secures major win. Partners with RONOCA, Concrete Incorporated. HGP Nightly News begins now. Good evening to our viewers here in Guyana and online. I'm Travis Chase with the Friday, October 17th edition of the HGP Nightly News. We have what you need to know this evening. More than 8 years after allegations first surfaced, the Guyana Police Force and the Guyana Revenue Authority have now been instructed to investigate reported gold smuggling involving the Mohammed's family. But critics are already questioning whether it's a case of putting the cat to watch the milk. Here is more. Despite a U.S. federal indictment naming Guyana Revenue Authority and government officials as alleged collaborators in a gold smuggling network operated by Azruddin Mohammed and his father, Nizar Mohammed, Vice President JAGDEO on Thursday has directed the police to carry out a local investigation. Notably, he bypassed Commissioner of Police Clifton Hicken in ordering the investigation.
The GRA, the police, must immediately start the investigation of all of those corrupt officials who collaborated, and the gold board, who collaborated with the Mohammeds in smuggling the gold. In every period, in the APNU period as well as the period under the PVP.
To date, no government official has been charged in connection with the allegations, but judging from the Vice President's tone, his administration appears prepared to let the chips fall where they may.
Before the elections, about what we are going to do with these officials, and you recall what I said. I said, we don't want these matters to be dealt with now in the election period. There will be time enough after the elections to go after these individuals who have collaborated, and a time is now.
The United States has charged the Mohammeds with wire fraud, mail fraud, and conspiracy to commit money laundering, accusations tied to tax evasion on gold exports, as well as the importation of a luxury Lamborghini. In one major incident, American authorities said they seized a shipment containing about US $5.3 million in gold bars at the Miami International Airport on June 11, 2024. That shipment reportedly originated from the Mohammed's enterprise in Guyana.
And I expect that a full-fledged investigation would be launched into those people who, from the gold board, including JHK, Lal, and the others who may have been complicit in assisting the Mohammeds to evade the massive sum of taxes.
U.S. authorities are expected to seek the extradition of both Azruddin and Nizar Mohammed. Attorney General Anil Nandlal has already signaled that the PPPC government would honor such a request. If convicted, the Mohammeds could face up to 20 years in prison on each of the 11 counts listed in the indictment. For now, all eyes are on how local authorities will proceed and whether this investigation will go beyond the headlines and into the halls of power. Travis Chase, HGP Nightly News. The site for the new CHATEAU MARGOT Mall on the east coast of Demerara was turned Friday morning, with President Irfan Ali saying the project reflects not just change but transformation. Jada June reports.
President Irfan Ali on Friday attended the ceremonial site turning for the upcoming CHATEAU MARGOT Mall a major commercial development set to rise on the east coast of Demerara. In his address, President Ali underscored Guyana's current trajectory, saying it's not merely about change, but more about transformation deeply rooted in advancing social development.
And there is a difference between change and transformation. In this transformation, we believe that efficiency, transparency, productivity, profitability must all align towards one core, and that core is human development.
The president noted that the benefits of the project would be felt almost immediately, pointing to the likely increase in property values in the surrounding areas.
The impact of transformation in this area will be felt from tomorrow.
President Ali also reminded that such development projects extend beyond business.
That when we celebrate investments like these, it is not only about the investor, it is not only about the workers, it's not only about the banks, it is about the ecosystem. What it represents in the entire system.
The project is being undertaken by Anson McCall Group of Companies in the regional conglomerate, with a long-standing presence in Guyana. Troy Cadogan, head of the External Affairs and Managing Director of Anson McCall, Guyana, described the moment as one of realization and growth.
This project is just another chapter in that legacy, reaffirming our commitment to be more than just a business, but a true partner in national development.
Chairman and CEO of Anson McCall Group, Mr. Anthony Sapga, reflected on the company's decades-long journey in Guyana and his continued confidence in the nation's progress.
When one looks at the infrastructure upgrades and the new housing development, one can feel the momentum of a nation in progress.
Sapga said the company's evolution in Guyana has been built on resilience, partnership, and vision, values that aligns closely with the country's development drive.
Chateau Margot itself is special because it stands the bridge between Guyana's rich heritage and its exciting future.
The Chateau Margot Mall is expected to become a major retail and lifestyle hub, contributing to employment, infrastructure enhancement, and continued growth along the East Coast Corridor. Jada June reporting for HGP Nightly News.
Meanwhile, marking a first for the Caribbean community, the World Trade Center Georgetown will soon open its doors, linking Guyana's business sector to a global network of trade opportunities. Find out more from Tiana Cole.
The World Trade Center Georgetown WTCG on Friday hosted a guided media tour of its state-of-the-art facility ahead of its official launch. Executive Chairman Kamal Samaru said the initiative connects Guyana to a network of World Trade Centers across more than 300 countries, opening major global business opportunities.
We can access partners in the network to help us bring knowledge and information to Guyanese businesses who are desirous of exporting. Just as we are in a position to help them and their entities in their respective cities learn about the Guyana market.
Samaru explained that the World Trade Center Georgetown will focus on empowering entrepreneurs and businesses of all sizes by assisting them gain access to international markets and vital business connections.
So help empower Guyanese businesses to export, to diversify from the domestic market, particularly as we need to diversify our economy and don't depend on oil and gas.
He emphasized that the World Trade Center Georgetown will play a key role in helping Guyana strengthen its non-oil sectors and integrate more deeply into the global economy. The World Trade Centers Association, WTCA, of which the World Trade Center Georgetown is now a part, facilitate global trade and investment by connecting businesses, property developers, and economic development agencies worldwide. Samaru noted that the Georgetown Center will serve as a bridge between local enterprises and the global market. Tiana Cole reporting for the HGP Nightly News.
Stay with us. You're watching the HGP Nightly News. Thanks for staying with us here in the HGP Nightly News. We tell you now that President of the Caribbean Court of Justice, Winston Anderson, has once again voiced concerns over the prolonged absence of substantive appointments for the Chancellor and Chief Justice in Guyana. Tiana Cole will report now.
President of the Caribbean Court of Justice, CCJ, Justice Winston Anderson, on Thursday, told reporters that the absence of a substantive Chancellor and Chief Justice in Guyana continues to be a major concern for the judiciary.
It is a concern. The judiciary, of course, would like to see the Chancellor and the Chief Justice confirmed in their position. I'm not speaking of any particular person, but the Office of Chancellor and the Office of Chief Justice ought to be occupied by persons who are confirmed.
Justice Anderson explained that while the Constitution requires agreement between the President and the Leader of the Opposition, both sides have expressed a commitment to resolving the long-standing issue.
I know it has existed for a very long time. Indeed, I believe the last Chancellor we had was Chancellor Bernard, which was something like 20 years ago. That's a pretty long time.
He added that despite the challenges, it is time for permanent appointments to be made.
I believe that the government is working towards resolving the issue. I believe that with our meeting with the parties in opposition in the Parliament, that they're also aware of the difficulty and they're also working towards a resolution of the problem. And therefore, I hope by the next time I'm in Guyana, that matter will have been resolved.
In August, Justice Roxanne George was sworn in to act as Chancellor after Justice Yonette Cummins, who has been in the role since 2017, proceeded on vacation leave. Justice Navindra Singh was also appointed to act as Chief Justice during that period. Guyana has not had a confirmed Chancellor since Justice Bernard's departure in 2005, and no substantive Chief Justice for over a decade. Tiana Cole reporting for the HGP Nightly News.
The Canadian High Commissioner to Guyana has reaffirmed his country's commitment to supporting Guyana in the ongoing territorial controversy with neighboring Venezuela. The ambassador noted the importance of regional stability, one which fosters a conducive business climate. Antonio Day is on the story.
Canada's High Commissioner to Guyana has reaffirmed his country's commitment to Guyana amidst the ongoing border row with neighboring Venezuela. During an exclusive interview with Nightly News on Thursday, Ambassador Sebastian Sigon said his country has already indicated its position where a country's territorial integrity must be respected.
Say that Canada has been on record for being supportive of Guyana's sovereignty. We've been very clear about it. The other thing we've been very clear about as well is that the matter, the controversy, is before the International Court of Justice, and that's where it must be resolved.
Ambassador Sigon noted the importance of regional stability and necessity for a conducive business climate.
The important aspect of that, when you look at it from a business perspective, is this having a final decision, having stability, a clear sense of the sovereignty. That also brings stability to the business environment.
Ambassador Sigon is adamant that a sense of peace and civility must prevail when the territorial controversy is conciliated before the ICJ.
For many Canadian businesses, but also businesses from other countries, what they do want is a business environment that is predictable, a business environment that is transparent, and a business environment that is stable.
The International Court of Justice, ICJ, has ruled that it has the jurisdiction over the case and ordered Venezuela to refrain from actions that could alter the status quo. Venezuela has rejected the ICJ's authority and continues to maintain its claim. The court is expected to examine written submissions from both Guyana and Venezuela in early as 2026 before moving toward a decision. Antonio Day reporting for the HGP Nightly News.
On HGP Nightly News, we tell you now that the Carter Center is calling on all political parties that contested Guyana's recent general and regional elections to submit their post-election campaign finance reports to the Guyana Elections Commission as required by law. According to the Carter Center, under the Representation of the People's Act, parties are mandated to provide financial disclosures within 35 days of the declaration of results. Now that the official results have been published in the official gazette on September 16, the deadline for submission to the Chief Election Officer is imminent. The Carter Center encourages all parties to comply with this reporting requirement as a step toward fostering a culture of transparency and accountability, the statement read. The center also announced that it will address campaign finance reform in its final election observation report, which is expected to include recommendations aimed at improving oversight, disclosure, and enforcement mechanisms. The government will now move to crack down on online gambling and betting shops. Stronger regulation and higher taxes are coming. More details in this report. Guyana's sitting Vice President JAGDEO has put the gambling industry on notice that the government will soon impose tougher regulations and higher taxes in response to what he calls a growing social crisis caused by gambling on demand. At a press conference on Thursday, Mr. JAGDEO said gambling has moved far beyond casinos and entertainment hubs and is now reaching directly into homes through mobile apps and small betting outlets across the country.
So expect stronger regulation in this area and appropriate taxes.
Also blaming the issue on a very liberal licensing and taxation policy, Mr. JAGDEO reminded that gambling was initially introduced to support the hotel sector as an additional revenue source. At the time, casino licenses were granted under strict conditions. However, that framework has dramatically shifted. JAGDEO pointed out that hundreds of small betting operations now function nationwide, many linked to digital platforms that allow round-the-clock wagering.
The moment when you have 400 or 500 outlets in every village across the country and it's run on an app, it's creating a major social problem.
Government, according to the Vice President, can no longer turn a blind eye.
Expect changes because it's destroying people's... if they want to gamble, they can go to the appropriate unit, leave their hometown and travel, etc. Not sit down in their home all day and use up the children's money or their income. If you wanted, you can continue doing that, but you'd have to pay the appropriate taxes.
Travis Chase, HGP Nightly News. This is the HGP Nightly News. Stay with us. There is more news ahead. Welcome back. Thanks for staying with us. The Tourism and Hospitality Association of Guyana will be hosting Tapas Rum and Wine 2025, a premier culinary and beverage experience set for October 19 at the Georgetown Marriott. Marvin Cato will tell you more.
The government, seeing that type of response from the stakeholders in the tourism and hospitality sector, we're more than that willing to come on board.
That was Minister of Tourism, Industry and Commerce, Susan Rodriguez, who is integrally involved in boosting the upcoming event. Culinary arts include a wide range of skills like food science, nutrition, flavor development, and presentation, and can lead to careers such as a chef, food and beverage manager, or restaurant manager. The Tourism and Hospitality Association of Guyana, THAG, says Tapas Rum and Wine 2025 further expand the already growing tourism brand dubbed Guyana's Beyond.
Such as these, which provide a platform to stakeholders in the industry to showcase and exhibit the best that we have in terms of talent, using local ingredients, and elevating the culinary experience.
Now in its second year, Tapas Rum and Wine has already established itself as one of THAG's signature events, showcasing Guyana's top chefs, restaurants, caterers, and beverage experts. According to organizers, patrons will be in for a treat.
I want to emphasize that THAG of itself as an organization is formed with direct competitors, but we believe in partnership.
Sunday evening will feature an array of innovative tapas creations, premium rum and wine pairings, and signature cocktails, highlighting the creativity. This year's lineup includes some of Guyana's most recognized culinary and beverage at a cost of just $12,000, which includes event access and 6 chits for tapas.
We believe in collaboration because that is the way we will grow this market, this culinary tourism market. and it will benefit all of us.
The goal of Tapas Rum and Wine is to encourage innovation and excellence among local chefs and beverage professionals, inspiring them to push boundaries while inviting patrons to appreciate the craftsmanship, creativity, and thought that goes into every dish and pour. Marvin Cato reporting for HGP Nightly News.
Day 3 of the Bishop's High School Student Conference focused on career guidance and personal development. You'll hear more in this story.
At the conference, legal professionals engage students on what it truly takes to succeed in study and practice of law. One speaker emphasized the importance of understanding core concepts in law, urging students to build a solid foundation rather than memorizing facts.
To have a fundamental understanding of any concept, of anything you want to do in the law or in any area of your life is important, because then you're able to take that thing and it's going to be like putty or Play-Doh in your hands, where you're able to form it, use it, understand it.
Attorney at law Eden Corbin, a criminal practitioner, shared advice grounded in discipline and preparation.
1, manage your time. 2, prepare. A good lawyer is always prepared.
New attorney at law Nia Williams encouraged her peers to embrace opportunities with purpose.
Know your passion. Know why you want to do law, even if it's money related. Focus on the reason that you are there, and it's going to ground you throughout your entire journey.
Meanwhile, Aaron St. Hill, another law student, spoke about the values of critical thinking.
Being confident in who you are and what you stand for will take you so far. If you're speaking, if you're asserting your position, always remember to be respectful and be humble.
Other legal stakeholders encourage students to stay committed and protect their mental health while pursuing their goals.
And this might sound cliche to some, but read doggedly. I mean, like excessively. Go after it.
The day also featured several career rooms called Messiahs, each focusing on getting your own job, the future in the past, financial literacy, opportunities in medicine and biomedical engineering, aviation job opportunities, and preparing to make a difference beyond high school. As the Bishop's High School Student Conference continued, students gained not only career guidance but also life lessons on purpose, preparation, and perseverance from those already shaping the world beyond the classroom. Meanwhile, co-chairs of the conference planning committee, Joanne Davis-Balls and Janice Davis-Street, lauded the planning team and the presenters for their dedication. They emphasized that the new mentoring sessions would enhance students' experience and deepen their understandings of various career paths. The conference concluded on Friday. Jada June reported for HGP Nightly News.
Thank you, Jada. Stay tuned for your regional news.
Good evening and welcome to Friday's edition of the Regional News. I'm Antonio Day. We begin with news in the Caribbean. Police investigators are looking at all possibilities as they probe the death of 20-year-old Victoria Brown Hanley at the University of the West Indies UWI Mona campus on Thursday. According to the police, Brown Hanley was alone in her room on the 4th floor of the George Allen Hall after her roommate left shortly after 1 a.m. When the roommate returned sometime after 6 a.m., she saw Brown Hanley lying face down with a scarf wrapped tightly around her neck. The roommate removed the scarf and summoned the campus security. A team from the Mona Police Post also responded, and it was subsequently confirmed that Brown Hanley of Mandeville, Manchester, address was dead. Turning attention to news in Trinidad and Tobago, as TNT and the wider Caribbean await an official response to reports that 2 nationals were among 6 people killed in a United States kinetic strike off Venezuela's coast, Prime Minister Kama Persad-Cesar and Defense Minister Wayne Sturge avoided questions from the media on the matter on Thursday. Persad-Cesar attended the Corona Lease distribution ceremony prior to at the Diplomatic Center in St. Anne's, accompanied by several cabinet colleagues, including Public Utilities Minister Barry Padarat and Agriculture Minister Ravi Rataran. After the ceremony, the Prime Minister briefly mentioned she was heading to a virtual CARICOM meeting before a cabinet session for the budget debate, while Sturge left through a side door, ignoring reporters' questions. Residents of the North Coast fishing village of Las Cuevas, including family and friends, identified 2 locals, CHATEAU Joseph and Richie Samaru, as being among those killed when the vessel was struck on Tuesday. The U.S. government has not released evidence to support its claim that the targeted vessel was engaged in narcotics trafficking. On Tuesday, U.S. President Donald Trump said that the strike has killed 6 quote-unquote narco-terrorists, claiming intelligence confirmed the vessel was trafficking narcotics and that it was associated with illicit narco-terrorist networks. And finally, with some international news. U.S. President Donald Trump is set to discuss the potential supply of Tomahawk missiles to Ukraine with President Volodymyr Zelensky on Friday. However, the announcement of a new U.S.-Russian summit has cast doubt on this. Trump mentioned he may meet Russian President Vladimir Putin in Budapest soon, following a productive phone call about the war in Ukraine. His conciliatory remarks has raised concerns about the U.S. support for Ukraine and European fears of capitulation to Moscow. That has brought us to the end of Friday's edition of the Regional News. I am Antonio Day. Goodbye and do have a great weekend.
Delvin Neblet is up next with HGP's Sports Pulse.
Good evening, Guyana. I'm Delvin Neblet with your HGP TV Sports Pulse for today, Friday, October 17, 2025. We begin tonight with boxing. The Guyana Defence Force Gym have declared their readiness for the upcoming Terence Pool Intermediate Boxing Championships scheduled for October 25 to 27, 2025. Head coach Ian Bancroft has expressed great confidence in his team's preparation despite a few in-house challenges. The GDF Gym dominated last year's tournament, securing titles in the National Novice, Intermediate and Open divisions. The veteran Bancroft firmly believes that his current team has the ability to replicate the gym's success in previous tournaments. This year's championships hold special significance as they are being staged in honor of the late Terence Pool, the long-serving technical director of the Guyana Boxing Association, who passed away in October 2024 after serving the Guyanese boxing fraternity for over 4 decades. Inter-cricket action continued in the Guyana Cricket Board's Queensway Security Inc. Senior Men's Inter-County Tournament 2025 as Berbice took on Essequibo at the Lusignan ground on Thursday. Batting first after being sent in, Essequibo amassed a total of 288 for 9 in their 50 overs on the back of half-centuries from Kevon Booty with a touch 74 and the powerful Quinton Sampson with 55. Kimo Paul added 37 as Thaddeus Lovell chipped in with a stroke-filled 31. Omish Matura picked up 3 for 51, while Kevin Sinclair and Zainul Ramsamy each picked up 2 wickets. When Berbice responded despite an impressive 57 from Tamani Caesar, they were bowled out for just 170 in 39.5 overs as Golcharan Chulai was destructive with the ball, picking up 4 for 48, inclusive of the important wicket of Kevin Sinclair caught on the boundary by Kimo Paul for 27 after striking back-to-back sixes. The experienced Anthony Adams also picked up 3 for 48 as the men from the Cinderella County secured a well-deserved 118-run victory over the Ancient County. Senior men's inter-county action continues this weekend as Essequibo take on the GCB Select 11 at Lusignan on Saturday and Berbice take on defending champions Demerara at the number 69 ground on Sunday. Moving into football, action resumed in the Georgetown Football Association Senior Men's League 2025 with 2 fixtures at the Police Sports Club ground Eve Leary on Wednesday. The first match was a 2-0 victory for the Camptown FC over Ordis FC as player of the match Marlon Bethel shined with both goals. In match number 2, Pele FC outclassed East Velt 3-0 as Orlando Lovell produced a memorable hat-trick. Senior Men's League action continues tonight at Eve Leary with 2 fixtures as the Northern Rangers face Genesis in match number 1 and Black Pearl take on Vengi in match number 2. Also in football, action is set for the penultimate day of the tournament as the Ghana Football Federation's Elite League 2025 continues with 2 fixtures at the National Training Center in Providence on Saturday. The first match commencing at 18 hours 30 features the Fruta Conquerors versus Santos FC, while match number 2 from just about 21 hours will see tabletopper Slingers FC take on the Ghana Police Force FC. And finally, the PETRA organization have scored a major win as RONOCA Concrete Inc. officially joined forces to power the 2025 Republic Bank Under-18 Secondary Schools Football League. At a special ceremony on Tuesday, RONOCA's Padma Sigobin handed over the support to PETRA co-director Troy Mendonca. The Boys Under-18 tournament officially kicks off this Sunday, October 19 at the Ministry of Education ground Carifesta Avenue with a march past at 10 a.m. Meanwhile, the PETRA organization's Pee Wee Under-11 Championship continues this Saturday with round of 16 action at the Ministry of Education ground from 12 hours. St. Pius Primary will take on Pataro Primary in the first fixture. Round of 16 action also continues in the Ghana Football Federation's Blue Water Shipping Under-15 Girls National Secondary School Championship with 6 fixtures at the National Training Center in Providence on Sunday. Commencing at 10 hours, the first match will feature Westminster Secondary versus Marian Academy. That's it for this edition of the HGP TV Sports Pulse. I'm Delwyn Neblet reminding you to stay in the game.
JAGDEO instructs GRA and the police to probe gold smuggling links. He's putting cat to watch milk, according to sources. Sought turned for more than $50 million Chateaau Margot Mall, World Trade Center, Georgetown, to connect local businesses to global markets. Government to crack down on online gambling, betting shops. Stronger regulations coming, says Bar JAGDEO. And in sport, PETRA organization secures major win. Partners with RONOCA Concrete Incorporated. Those are our major headlines. For these stories and more, please go to our website. It's www.hgptv.com. I'm Travis Chase. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.